Good evening and welcome to Gavra Racing's GT4 series once again after a week break. I am Cypher-Knight77 and I will be here bringing you Gavra Racing action here today. Unfortunately, Kirano is not here today, so it'll be a solo broadcast for me, but we still hope that it'll be a good race today. So then, we're here at Barcelona, Catalunya, a prominent F1 track, but these GT4 cars will be taking to the track today. It's a very technical circuit actually, roughly quite a few turns. A lot of them will catch some of these drivers out, as there's quite a prominent number of gravel traps here, but hopefully we'll see an overall clean race. As the points stand though, Javier is leading the GT4 standings. He is actually the only driver to have more than 100 points at this current moment, I believe having 113 over his closest rival Red, who has around 83 points. So definitely getting closer toward the business end of the season, where these guys are trying to go for every position they can. But now that these guys actually know how their car handles in these certain situations, it'll be interesting to kind of see how they'll progress from here on out. You see very slidey through the Sector 2 section of this track. It's I wouldn't say it's a low speed track, because there's quite a lot of high speed turns, as you see Javier go through one of them right now, but it has its fast sections, but it also has its technical sections, as we see in going through Sector 3 right now. It's already difficult in an F1 car. You can imagine how difficult it is in a GT4 car, actually. But Javier putting in the work as per usual. The weather is looking a little bit unsure for this race. We're not sure whether there will be some rain. There's some hint in the the forecasting. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. As Javier comes across the line to set the first representative time in practice. And it is a 152.5, roughly around the average speed that we'll probably see from these guys. That is a... Ooh, that's slim sign off in the grass there. Or not the grass, the gravel. Yes, like I said, it's quite a lot of, well, not a lot of runoff. There's a lot of gravel runoff, so there really isn't too many places to get out of the way here. So traffic will be kind of a prominent issue throughout this race, I believe. Ryan is back in the pits. He's the second person to set a representative lap time. Ooh, crazy, just getting a little bit wrong there off the right-hander, the fast right-hander. But hopefully it doesn't impede his lap too much. In terms of track limits, I was about to say, there isn't a lot of room for sort of give and take. So these drivers will probably have a few time penalties throughout the race. Not sure who will get them, but the track limits are definitely heavily enforced on a track like this, so these drivers will really have to try to make up time, but not so much so that they'll be cutting the track in multiple areas. This lead's going through turn 9 right-hander, not too fast actually, so I believe he's just on his warm-up. Not really sure which cars might have the advantage today. I want to say the KTMs, considering they're usually good on these kind of technical tracks, but it's also a relatively flat track in some areas, so it usually comes down to chassis kind of mechanical grip. So in that case, you don't really know who has the overall advantage going forth, as yes, Alice is slowing down. Gonna let Slim Sign go through so that they can get some space here. Qualifying will definitely be important, as it is very hard to pass here on this track. see, just trying to find some space. There is, like I said before, there isn't too much space, but you have to try to make with what you have. So, probably some early battling in practice with Adam here, but as of right now, time is incredibly spread out, so this driver's just making quite a lot of mistakes, actually, considering there's a whole second gap, as that's Adam spinning around there at turn 6, I believe. But yeah, there's a huge gap so far, so this guy's just trying to get their foot in on this track, as that's Swami taking his foot off the track. This is only practice though, but these are telling signs for qualifying. As he Red, second in the points here, comes across the line. He will start his laps. He's 8th right now, but he's got a lot of fuel in, so I suspect he's just working on long run pace. Being a technical track, you are wearing out the car as well as yourself quite a lot, actually. So long run consistency will be especially important here, probably just as much so as it did in Sugo 2 weeks ago. Definitely the mental capacity these drivers will be tested at a track like this. You see GTS going through the right hand of turn 9 right now, sitting 7th place, though he's actually running less fuel, so he is on a more or less mock qualifying run. We'll see what he can put times in. 6/10 down out of sector 2, so, and runs wide there at turn 10, so I don't think this will be a lap he's going to count right now. Sign making his way up to 3rd in the standings, 154.6, and now the time starting to creep in. It's Crazy in 4th with a 154.9, and Beckeratis running out the top 5 with a 155.0. Alid's on a 2/10 up run, going a little bit wide, going into turn 5. He's also on a mock qualifying run, so we'll see if he can improve here. Deep down into second gear, going out turn 6, although a little too much on the inside curb there, so definitely not pushing the car as much as he definitely wants to. Definitely playing conservative with the car, so this probably won't be his overall run. Yeah, definitely not. Just way too wide there out of turn 9, hitting the cone and gravel a little bit. And as practice completes, it is Javier with a 159 or 151.9 as Alex hits the huge curb at turn 10 and loops it a little bit. It's also going to be something that these drivers have to deal with, some of the really tight hairpin-like corners on this track as Alex lights it up. This isn't the rallycross or the drift track, so probably not doing himself any favors, but it's definitely a spectacle. Slim sign across the line. He improves a little bit by about 2/10, but nothing more than 3rd. In GTS, the last car on his mock qualifying run. Ooh, runs a little bit wide there at 13 and 14. A little too much curb, and well, that's not going to help with Alex in the way there. So seemingly GTS will probably have to stick with 7 as he gets it all wrong off the last corner, and well, that's not how you want to end practice. But yes, with the last cars coming across the line right now, it looks like your order for practice will be Javier, Ryan, and Slim Sign. So, alright. So yes, these are your standings here for practice. Probably not the most representative times, but we'll see what happens come qualifying. But as it stands though, from the looks of it, seems to be Aston Martin, KTM, so definitely going to be some improved pace from all these guys. But here we go, it's qualifying time. The make or break point to see which one of these guys will be starting up front for this race. So we'll see who decides to come out first. And it looks like it's Slim Sign out first, followed by Red behind them. And then his teammate Swami and Aleds. Yes, Slim Sign is the first out on the track, but with quite a few liters of fuel, yes. And Bekaratis has a penalty already, so I believe that's for speeding in the pit road. So we'll have to come back, see what kind of penalty the stewards have informed him about. That's definitely not what you want already at the start. But yes, Slim Sign having 26 liters, so he's definitely going to do a couple qualifying runs on the same set of tires, and we'll stick on board and see how he does right here. The only two who decide to stick in for the first minute or two, Husa and All-Star. But as everyone starts to find the space that they need, it's very cluttered here in Sector 2, so you guys definitely gonna have to figure out what they want to do. They obviously don't want to run into somebody, because on a track like this, your lap can get easily ruined very quickly. And since the times are in the 1-minute 50s, qualifying will definitely be, not really gonna say shorter, but these guys will have a lot less time to actually start making laps out there. But Slim Sign will be the first to start his qualifying lap right now, and so we'll go on board with him and kind of take a small lap around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. To hard into turn 1, all the way down from 6th gear. It's a heavy braking zone heading into turn 1, then have to quickly shift the weight back to the left side, and then another weight shift back to the right as they head up turn 3 to turn 4, the long right-hander, which in these GT4 cars isn't too much of a trouble. Then coming into around turn 5, a hairpin-like corner, have to brake all the way down to around 3rd, 2nd gear. Slim Sign opting to go for 2nd. As they head out of the corner, use up all the curb as they can. Heavy braking zone down 2nd gear into around turn 6. Another hairpin-like corner. Easy on the gas, use all the curbs. Heading into the left-right chicane of 7 and 8. To brake all the way from 5th to 3rd. Make sure you don't use too much curbs or else the tires will slip up on you. Take up all the curbs at the exit. The fast right-hander of turn 9, usually flat out. We'll see what Slim Sign can do. Pretty good. Could use more curb. And then heavy braking zone down into turn 10, braking around the 100-meter board. All the way down to 1st gear. Use up all the brakes that the car's got. And then another chicane of 11 and 12. Quick weight shift left and right. Another hairpin-like corner to hit into 13 and 14. Another braking shift, go down to 2nd, and then 16, 17, I believe, go down to around 1st gear. Well, the KTMs look like they can do it in 2nd. And then the last turn around, it's a decent lap. We'll see what that gives Slim Sign. Across the line now, it will be a 1:54.2, so definitely room for improvement there as everyone else starts making their way across. The Adam, Max, Lee, Red all coming across the line now. Bekaratis there. GTS also has a penalty. I'm not really sure what that for. That might be for pit lane speeding as well. Javier across the line with a 1:53. He sets the fastest time out of this group. Alex across the line now to set 1:56.6, so he can definitely go a little bit faster. Joe Block in the background in the Mustang across the line. He's carrying a lot of fuel, so I don't suspect this will be a very representative lap time. It's 8th place, so decent, 1:57.5. GTS coming across the line now at 2:08, so probably some penalty on his lap that hindered him. The only ones who haven't set a competitive lap time are Max Lee, Huso, Ryan Allstar, and Bowie, I believe. But so far from 3rd to around 6th, there's a small fight there. Back around, some sign going to be the first once more across the line. It's Adam letting Javier, who's 1.3 seconds faster on his lap, go in front of him. It's Red also in front of him. Becaratis in front of Javier. Go to the final corner chicane. Slim Sign will hit the line first. We'll see if he can improve from his 1:54.2. Goes across the line now, and no improvement there. Will Becaratis improve from the 1:55s? He will not. 100 slower. Javier, who was seconds up, goes 1:52s flat. And Adam will start a new lap. Crazy behind them. Can he get out of the 1:55s? No, he is a whole second off. So now some of these guys coming out of the pit lanes to start their first laps. Musa going through now, and Ryan just coming out the last corner. So maybe he'll be able to set a decent time here. Quick shuffle to the chicane, a little too much curve there. Hope that didn't hinder him. Swami, I believe, jumps up to 7th. Ryan comes across the line now, only 12th, 2:03.6. So definitely a lot more time to find. As now, eventually going to see the whole field out here starting to make laps. Adam just getting it all wrong, and that's hindered Ryan heavily, so we'll have to do a workaround there. Crazy Hussein, I believe that's Adam there. Hussein coming across the line. He also has quite a lot of fuel, so I don't think this is his true representative time. Little too much curb. We wonder if he'll be penalized for that. It goes through the final chicane now. Definitely taking it very conservative, so this might be the start of his lap, not necessarily his first lap. He comes across the line now. Yes, he is starting his lap now. This is Adam in the background. Can he improve from 6th place sitting on a 1:55? It's no. So he definitely had something wrong last lap. Schwami behind him. Can he improve? No, not him either. So these guys definitely finding it hard to find the pace, but that might just be due to traffic or just some mistakes that are very prevalent around here. Sign 2 seconds off of pole. Can he break his way into anything right now? As it's Red who jumps up to 3rd with the 1:55.3, and Slim Sign also not able to improve there. Ryan jumps up to 2nd with the 1:53.9. All-Star across the line. His lap time is invalidated, so he will stay 12th now. Actually seeming just in a lot of traffic right now, so definitely being hindered quite a lot. But so far right now, with about 5 minutes to go, it's Javier and the Aston Martin, the two KTMs, albeit not on the same team, of Ryan and Slim Sign. Red in the Porsche, who's in the pits, and then Crazy in 5th place at the moment. So with 5 minutes to go, there's still plenty of time for these guys to improve. Who's coming across the final chicane now to set his first representative time. Definitely could use a little bit more curb there, but we'll see what his first time is. He's been known to qualify at the back for pretty much every single race this season, so what is the verdict here today? It is 10th, 156.3, so not his usual brand of qualifying, but he's definitely looking to go somewhere this race. It's red with a little bit of damage, so I wonder if he's had contact with somebody. Crazy coming through turn 10 right now. There's a little bit of contact going on the left-right chicane. I wonder if there was some miscommunication of getting out of the way there. But Crazy just a little bit loose, so I don't think this will be a good lap time from him. He just took too much curb and it took the wheels with him, unfortunately. Going to the chicane now, and then the final right-hander. Well, he improved from 6th place. Doesn't look like it. He's quite some time off. Cross the line now. And no, he still can't seem to set a decent time. I believe that's Ryan behind him. Can he go faster? No, he cannot. So 3 minutes to go. Max Play, I believe, is on his lap now. All-Star a little hindered there. I wonder if that's Beccaratis also on his lap. Yeah, just abandoning that lap. So Beccaratis trying to improve. Still not sure what quite his penalty is just yet. We'll make sure to check after qualifying. But no, he's going to abandon his lap as well. So I believe that's the end of his runs. Javier in the pit, that'll be the end of his runs as well, as there doesn't seem to be a lot of time. Slim Sign a little wide off of turn 9. So there's probably an invalidated lap from him. He is 2/10 down. He can still kind of improve if he cleans up sector 3 through 11 and 12 right now. GTS crossed the line only to go oh no, he goes up to 5th place actually, I believe. Or was that Alex? No, it was GTS who went up to 5th place. And Slim Sign across the line. Is he able to improve? No, he's a whole second off, so he lost time in that final sector. Schwami behind him. Can he improve from 10th place? Definitely not where he wants to start. He finally sets a better lap, but it's still only good for 10th. Maxley finally setting his lap, but he was mired in traffic. Crazy goes up to 4th with a 154.9, 4/10 up. Ryan across the line now. He goes 153.7, but still no one able to break the 152s except Javier. Crazy giving all the power he's got in the Aston Martin to try and improve his position. Red definitely needs a better qualifying position. He is still in the championship fight, but that's not gone well for him. The weight has just taken the car with him. And he will get one more chance though, I believe. But he desperately needs to get a good qualifying lap as well. Those curbs aren't really going to help him. GTS a little too wide and off in the gravel, so it's not going to help him. I believe it's Husa and Alex coming across the line, and they're finishing their laps. Slim Sign is also finished with his lap. Adam Crowther across the line does not improve. GTS across the line, his lap is invalidated, so it's up to All-Star and Crazy. Crazy going really wide, so I believe that'll be an invalidated lap time from him. And GTS taking the access road there. So this seems to be your qualifying spots as it stands. No one's really going to go out there to finish their lap. Javier will sit on pole with a 152 flat. Ryan in second with a 153.7. I believe that's his best qualifying of the season. Slimsign in third. Crazy fourth. And Joe Black surprisingly in fifth in the Mustang. Impressive qualifying result from him, actually. Red will have to start a little bit further below the field. Definitely not where he wants to be. Definitely in the hive nest for the start of this race. And other notables include Becaratis also starting pretty far down the field. Schwami, as well as maybe Husa, who didn't really get the runs that they were quite looking for. Oh no, Adam's still looking to go on his lap. I thought he had abandoned his lap, actually. But no, just getting it all wrong there off of turn 10 as well. And unlike IndyCar, you're not really going to escape track limits here. You got it all wrong in the grass. The only other car is Max Blee, but I believe that his lap time will not count regardless. So then, if you look at the timing, GTS will have a 1 grid place penalty promoting Red into 6th place. Becaratis has a 2 place penalty promoting Adam and Schwami into 8th and 9th place. Becaratis will start 10th. So those are the penalties, probably believe for speeding. But yes, these are the final qualifying results. Quite a massive distinction from first, second, and then through the rest of the field. But with unpredictable weather in coming for the race, we're not quite sure where everyone will cycle out. So then, let's get to the race. Welcome to the grid of Barcelona, Catalunya. And so, as I've stated before, Javier will start on pole. Ryan in second, his best qualifying of the season. Can he make something out of it? Slimsign looking to do same good work he's been doing for the whole season. Crazy also looking for a good performance. Joe Black, his best qualifying after coming off his best race. Red looking to get back the spots he needs, considering he is in the championship chase. GTS looking to perform decently as usual. Adam and Schwami definitely starting far back than they would like to, considering recent qualifying performance. Becaratis, can he overcome his 2-place grid penalty? All-Star and Husa start very far back, but they've been known to kind of make their way up the pack before. Aled starting very much far back in the field, and Max Blee rounds off your top grid. I believe the only one who isn't able to make it here is Bowie here today. Unfortunate for him. But yes, with that, let's get on to the Grand Prix, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. I was checking the fuel loads there, but Ryan taking significantly less fuel than Javier, as well as Slimsign. But as we go to 4 red lights here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, it's off, and Javier gets off electrifyingly away as there's contact with Joe Black, and that's red behind them. However, no one's ended up in the wall. Joe Black actually gets into 3rd place with an electric start. That's Slimsign falling all the way back down. It's swapped 4 wide as he's being hindered by Schwami, red. And that is Ryan, who also had a terrible start. Schwami taken a little bit to the grass. There's contact between Becaratis, GTS, and Alex there. There's a KTM of you know, Alex. Also, there's Becaratis behind him, an all-star. There's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Slimsign, who's all-star in the back, but he's coming up to the 5th place. So now it's Javier from Joe Black. Crazy fighting off an attack from Red. Slim Sign battling off Ryan. Adam facing off with Slim Sign. Husa. It's Husa, a little bit of contact, and there's Adam there. I believe Adam just got it all wrong, and Husa didn't slow up in time, as that has promoted Alids there to take advantage. However, Husa with the better break. Swami trying to... No, that's All-Star down there on the apron. He'll probably have to give that position back, as that is Bekaratis trying to make a move there on Swami in front of him. And that is a careening Janetta there. But it's GTS horrible start right off the front. He's all the way back down to 11th place. Crazy now on the back. He's trying to chase after Red, who's also chasing after Joe. Meanwhile, Javier getting away from the front of the pack. Joe Black with an amazing start, getting up into 2nd place. Crazy behind him. Slim Sign. Ryan on the offensive here. He's probably got a little bit more pace there. Husa, Alids, Bekaratis under attack from Swami. And then GTS facing off an attack from Adam, All-Star, and Max Bleed to round out the grid so far. So definitely a very clean start despite the minor contact, because that's Red who gets the speed on the Mustang, is able to pass him on the front straight. Crazy also looking for the offensive here, decides against it, comes back in line, and that's Joe Black going very hot into turn 1, and he has hit the back of Red. He slows down, but that's probably not helped either of them. So whole field scrambles. Crazy's been gifted to 2nd. Now it's Slim Sign into 3rd. Ryan 4th. Red trying to recover from that. And that is Joe Black after a good start. He is now down to 9th. So I probably just gave him the commentator's curse again. Heyo, what are you going to do? But now Red trying to get back. He's now under pressure by Husa. And then he's not really sure. There's Red around, almost at the KTM, but Red, after being hit in the back, has spun around, so definitely not helping himself any more than he already had been. Is that Swami almost into the back of Joe Black there, trying to outbrake himself there. As the GTS goes really wide, now is under pressure by Adam, who will take up 10th place there, going into turn 9. Joe now looking to get back on Bekaratis here, trying to make sure not to outbrake himself. That's GTS on the back of Adam, not really able to go anywhere there. That's Red trying to make up the time that he lost after his spin. Now Joe on the back of Bekaratis. Meanwhile, up front, your leader is Javier, who's pulled up a 6-second gap already from Crazy, who's pulled out a gap from Slim Sign and from Ryan, so he'll probably stay more or less neutral with Husa. What I say, he's made his way from 12th to 5th, somehow, miraculously. That little car is like an insect, you never really know where it's going, but he's going up to the front. Because now that Swami on the back of Joe Black, hopefully he doesn't get it wrong 2 times in 2 turns, but Swami now looking a little bit inside Bekaratis, but he'll just settle. Joe Black fights back at the outside of turn 2. Really good racing and respect between these two. Let's head around turn 3. Swami has to kind of settle in here as Joe now holds onto the back of Bekaratis here. It's Red trying to make back ground on Adam behind him. Adam runs a little bit wide, allows Red to get to the inside of him, and that'll most likely be an easy pass from there. Oh, that's Red again, around in the same corner. Twice in 2 laps, actually. So, probably just either aero damage, or he's really getting flustered on those hairpin turns. He really doesn't need this for his championship hopes. Definitely didn't need this if he wants any chance of staying in, but Joe getting the better run out of turn 9. He's looking now on the back of Bekaratis down the back straight. Who's going to be late on the brakes? It is going to be Joe and the Mustang, as he gets it all wrong, and that's Swami also looking up the inside. He was looking for a move. I'm not really sure where he was trying to go with that. Joe is already very committed down to the inside, but this is promoted Adam into ninth place behind Joe now, as Bekarachis miraculously doesn't lose any spots. As I say that, he's around. Oh dear. And now Joe Black leads the Mustang train. They got four different manufacturers. There were four different manufacturers fighting in this one pack. So now it's Adam on the front stretch trying to gain the overspeed on Joe Black, as Joe just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed because he's being overtaken left, right, and center. Schwami and Adam overtake him down the front straight. Schwami looking at Adam, thought about it, but probably after his recent excursion, well, he's going to try it this time. Now on the outside, hanging into turn 3, but he tucks back inside. Schwami gets a little bit of a better run. Can he do something into turn 5? He looks in, looks out. Definitely taking a little bit more of a wider line, though he has to be careful of Joe if he's there. Seeing Joe looking to challenge into turn 6 a little bit, although he gets it a little wide, a little bit of tire spin there. A little too much curve, worse for wear, so that was allowed Joe Black to get back to the inside of Schwami into the left-right chicane. Joe cuts back in line, and Adam gets away scot-free. Alad's making his way back now to try to catch up to Husa, as now Ryan and Crazy will start to kind of catch back up to each other. I believe that's Red and Bekarachis down very drastically from where they were expecting to run today. Schwami now looking out the back of Adam. Can he try anything? Probably down the front straightaway. Not really sure why Joe is so slow in a straight line. He's probably got that car hooked up to maximum downforce, if anything, as that's Adam who gets it wrong in the same place that the same place that was it Red or Bekarachis? I can't remember. The point is, getting it wrong in the same places. There's a Porsche in the middle of the track. That's Alad's. Really, jeez. Alad's getting it all wrong. He was on the back of Husa, but now has just lost all his spots. He went from round 6th to 11th now, as he'll now have to get around this new pack of cars. Not really sure what happened. Probably just getting it wrong off the corners, as Schwami also gets it wrong off of turn 1, and Joe Black just swoops in unforeseen and takes 6th place. GTS probably have a little bit more speed than them, so it's definitely a pack of around 5 cars who are very close to each other, very close pace-wise. So it'll be a lot of battling from this group here. But now Schwami under attack from GTS, and then Red and Alad's trying to make their way back up the pack from where they started. GTS under pressure from Adam there. As Red gets it wrong in the turn after 6 this time, so. But Adam trying to catch a little bit of GTS. GTS keeping a little too much on the curve. I wonder if he just got caught there. But as I was saying, Red this time got it wrong on the turn after turn 6, so he's working on it. You definitely get there. But now GTS under attack from Adam, and Schwami trying to get back at Joe. Meanwhile up front, Javier's just in a world of his own. He might as well be driving an F2 car compared to these guys. But now Ryan under attack from Crazy down the front stretch, and Slimstein hoping to catch a little bit of slipstream from the both of them. Crazy heading into turn 1. He will have the position, so that is Crazy up to 2nd place. Ryan back down to 3rd. Although Crazy a little too much on the curb, so that will allow Ryan to kind of sneak back up inside there, maybe going into turn 4 a little bit. Definitely sticking to the back of him. Slimstein kind of just waiting as Ryan gets really loose, takes all the way to the outside. Luckily there's runoff there, and Husa kind of just in the background. So I thought the KTMs would have some kind of pace here, as there's Schwami overtaking Joe there for the 6th position. I was saying I thought the KTMs would have the pace there. I didn't expect all of them to be up there in the top 5, actually. So yes, ooh, Joe Black running really wide off the corner. GTS has to take evasive actions. He takes to the grass, however, no contact there. Adam looking to also take advantage, will not be able to do it. Although, I'm definitely looking in the fast right-hander of turn 9. GTS getting it a little wrong, goes a little wide. Will Adam be looking to kind of take advantage? Joe looking a little bit, brakes quite late heading into turn 10 as GTS goes way wide, and that's Joe Black up into 7th place now. GTS back down to 8th, and Adam looking to take advantage of both of these guys. Through the right and then the left-right chicane. GTS definitely feeling a lot of pressure. He's kind of going quite wide on all these corners, however, kind of picks it up and Adam's able to stick with them. However, back on board GTS, you can just kind of see how slow Joe is in a straight line for some reason, so I suspect it's just a matter of downforce sake, really, because I don't think it's anything damage related. So yes, GTS on the run down through the Mustang. Adam in the back of these two go down to turn 1, a little tiny bit of contact, but they managed to stick it through, and Joe will keep this place. GTS kind of holding off Adam a little bit, takes a very conservative line into 4, and Adam, having to see that, backs out of it a little bit. And so the battle rages on between these two as that's Adam. Oh my, what has happened to him? He is locked up the brakes something, because he is in the dirt. Looked like he just slid there into the gravel. And oh, there's a Crazy who got it wrong in the left right of 7 and 8, and that's Swami also getting it wrong in the left right of 7 and 8, but this time he's ended up worse for wear, and that's Joe. And GTS now trying to mount an attack on Crazy just in front of them. And in the nick of time, Swami has just bended into the wall hard. Although it's only side damage, so maybe it won't affect him too much. GTS looking now into inside, and that's Crazy again around. Although it looked like he went straight off the track, it didn't even look like he spun it. So maybe Crazy just getting a little flustered here with this car. Oh no, there's definitely something wrong with it. He's got something wrong with the car, because now he's spinning out at every turn. Unfortunately, he was running up in 2nd at one point, but now he seems to have something wrong with the car. So now it's Bekarachis in front of him. Swami decides not to pit. Crazy also decides not to pit, so whatever damage there might be, it's considerably minor. GTS now looking on the back of Joe, as that is Crazy looking on the back of Bekarachis, coming down into turn 1 now once again. GTS will have it. No, Joe Black, the late breaker out of these two, surprisingly. The Mustang with the better brakes there keeps it around the first turn. And Bekarach is able to hold off Crazy behind him. Crazy looking down the inside. Bekarach has definitely tried to close him off a little bit there, where he thought better of himself. So Crazy will have to cut back inside. Oh no, he goes for the dive bomb move here into 5, and we'll get the job done. Joe still under more pressure by GTS. That's Adam and Max Blee in the pits very early. Most likely for some damage, actually. Yes, some damage for both of them. Red and Alids definitely not having the days that they were wanting to. They both have heavy damage. Is that Crazy also getting it wrong out of 7 and 8 again allows Bekarachis to make a move up the inside of turn 9, and he'll get that very simply. Back up to GTS and Joe. GTS just looking a little bit of everywhere, actually, but the Mustang just being its usual bulky self. not providing many places to actually make a move. GTS goes a little bit wide, doesn't want to do too many of those. It might be a little bit of track extending there, actually, that might be caught by the stewards. Swami trying to catch up to these two again, as he had his own little incidents there, but I guess the damage for Swami isn't as bad as it looked. Though he looked like he slammed the wall very hard, it could just... might not have affected his engine or performance or anything like that. So we'll definitely have to see there. GTS not able to make a move on Joe this time around. Beccaratis, though, under very much pressure by Crazy, and Crazy will look to maybe kind of dive bomb there. Beccaratis is aware that he's there. Coming to turn 1, turn 2. Beccaratis now in front of Crazy just by a tiny bit, although he's down to the inside of turn 3. Side by side, heading up to turn 4 right about now. Still side by side. Crazy has the preferred line though, so I suspect Beccaratis will kind of succeed the position there. Yes, he will. Crazy back up into 8th place, although he needs to get a move on back because he was running 4th place, where now this man is Mr. Come From Behind. He always seems to start at the back, but he always finds his way at the front of the pack very soon, actually. But now Slim Sign maybe trying to put a little bit of pressure on Ryan. KTM versus KTM there. But Joe now under the heavy assault of the red Aston and the gray Porsche of Swami and GTS. Ooh, GTS thought about it. Went really hot into turn 10. And that has allowed Swami to get to the inside of turn 11. Very hard over the curbs there. That's not helping either one of them out. But GTS not making things any easier for himself. It's allowed Swami to get back into the fight here. And Swami will definitely have the slipstream heading down into turn 1. Just behind them, Red catching back up to Crazy, Beccaratis, excuse me. But Swami already making him move off the final turn. He's down the front straight. Ooh, just letting him know he's there. But now Swami and GTS going into turn 1. Swami looks to have overspeed right now. However, GTS is the last of the late breakers. Swami is... Ooh! GTS kind of spun out a little bit. Kind of got a little bit of help there from Swami, but no harm, no foul there. But now Red catching up to the back of Beccaratis. Both of them not having the day that they were looking for. However, they can still kind of salvage this. Joe and the others are only about 2 turns in front of these guys, so definitely not over by a long shot. It's now behind them. Crazy now very susceptible to Beccaratis, as Beccaratis goes a little bit wide, although Red kind of cutting him some slack though. So Beccaratis will get another shot at Crazy, but I probably can assure you that Red will most likely be trying to get past both Crazy and his teammate here. Neither of them really want to hold each other up that much. So now Swami looking to mount another assault on GTS as, or on Joe, as GTS has kind of made some mistakes earlier. But meanwhile, up front it has been all Javier. Ryan, a little bit of, well, not too much pressure from Slim Sign actually, so expect these 3 will kind of have their own race. But now Joe under very heavy pressure from Swami. He'll most likely make the move. Porsche versus Mustang here down the front straight. Swami moves out open, although Joe has been very late on the brakes. Will he try to... No, Swami looking to kind of close it up on him, although he thinks better about it, decides to just hold the inside. That allows Joe to cut back to the outside, switch back on Swami, and Joe makes a lovely into outside move there. And Swami, he thought about closing the door, maybe thought, maybe I don't want to be run over here. And so, and GTS is in the pits. Oh, that's some heavy damage on the left side, actually. So unfortunate there. He's looking kind of set for another decent result here. Now, Schwalmy looking again on Joe as Crazy now trying to... Well, he's got just as much pace as Red and Baratis have, so I suspect these three might just want to try to work their way to the front together, actually. Over Baccarat is not making it easy for his teammate. But they wish that they could use some form of team orders right now, as it's Crazy on the grass. It's not really going to help him. Schwalmy down the back straight. Not going to make any sort of move there, although he tried to. Once again, Joe just not really getting the run out of turn 10 that he needs. He's very slow there compared to Schwalmy and a few of the other Porsches. And Baccarat just continues to hold up his teammate just a little bit. Once more down the front straight. Schwalmy will get the overspeed. Joe decides to move to the inside. No, he thinks better about it. Will decide to go back to the outside. So Schwalmy down to the inside this time. And once again leaves the outside open. But this time Joe doesn't decide to go for any sort of switchback, so will look like Schwalmy will hold it, although Joe cuts out then tries to go inside. However, Schwalmy holding the inside very precisely to not let the Mustang try to switch back on him, and then once again goes to protect the inside. Might cost him here, as yes, he goes very wide. However, I believe he anticipated Joe to also try to cut back inside, so that will mean Schwalmy will have the position now. Oh no, Joe looking to the inside of Schwalmy, a really late move into turn 6. That surprised me. And back up into 5th place now. Red falling off the back of Baccarat, so I suspect he's had another incident. But now Schwalmy a lot closer. He could make the move going into turn 10 if he chooses to. And looks like he's thinking, he's decided yes, he will. No, he cuts back inside. It's GTS back in the pits, actually, so the day is just going from bad to worse for him. He's seen much better days after coming off his best finish with a podium last 2 weeks in Sugo. But Joe looking to repeat his decent performance from Sugo by holding off Schwalmy here. Who's kind of in his world of its own, and Ryan has pulled away from Slim Sign there. Once again, Schwalmy will have the speed on Joe. I feel like we're watching a tape in repeat, because Schwalmy just tries... If he wants to get around him, he has to cut back inside, but does he really want to risk that? He doesn't. So Joe will cut back around the outside. Schwalmy a little bit loose, have taken a little too much curb, and Joe will keep the position. And it feels like we're watching a tape on rewind. This is the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing expecting a different result. So I suspect Schwalmy might not actually be going insane, but definitely should try something different. Baccarat now closing in a little bit on Crazy, who surprisingly hasn't been able to make up the speed that he had before. Schwalmy looks to the outside of Joe, goes defensive into 7 and 8. Not really a place to make a move, so I suspect he'll just be looking to make something happen on turn 10 here. No, he won't. Joe will hold the position going into turn 10. Oh, well, no, he won't, as he gets it all wrong, does a 360 and in the grass, and that allows him susceptible to Crazy and Baccarat. I thought Joe was very weak into turn 10, but this time he looped it going around, as well. It's Seems like the weather has come quite late into this race. There's a couple of raindrops on the screen. But now Crazy has now been moved up into 6th place. Gets a little bit loose off the final corner, as yes, it is now raining here at the Barcelona Catalunya. You don't expect much of a position shift, but it'll definitely change how these guys drive as they adapt to this new weather. Wami getting in a little loose off of turn 1 and 2, definitely taking a tail swing for the fans there. But unfortunately, Joe Black has gone all the way back down to 8th, as now Adam is out of this race as well. We now have 12 runners left in this race. But one person doesn't have to worry about anything, at least at the moment, is Javier, who now spans a 40-second lead over Ryan. Ryan doing what he needs to do, though, and Slim Sign needs to do what he should have done in Sugo, which was finish off the deal, but hey ho, you got more opportunities. But as the rain now sets on Barcelona, it'll be curious to see when these guys, if they decide to come in for any sort of tires or anything. Not sure how damp the track might get. A track like this has quite a few openings, so the water can wash quite quickly, but Schwami kind of demonstrating that it's definitely getting quite slippery. Crazy behind him, and Joe still under pressure by Red. He's struggling to kind of make his way back up. But as the race sort of settles in, before we see, well, this is literally the calm before the storm, but as you have an early pit from Beccaratis, definitely very, very early from my expectations, actually. But I was just going to say, right at the calm before the storm, we'll take you on board some of these gyros and let you listen to those really good engine sounds right as soon as you see Red making a move here on Joe. Will Red be the last of the late breakers? Joe keeping it a little bit on the outside. Red tried to cut back inside a little bit. However, that is Red now into 7th place. Joe down to 8th. So it's Crazy now caught up to the back of Schwami, as now it's raining quite heavily here at Barcelona. It's now visible from us. And Schwami getting it all wrong there. Crazy down the inside as if it's nothing. And with the rain approaching quicker than usual, has Beccaratis made the good call here? I'm not really sure. Joe now catching up to the back of Red here. Red gets it all wrong off of turn 9, and Joe coming back up the outside, actually. However, Red has superior speed, but the Mustang has superior brakes. Over Joe hasn't been the greatest around turn 10, although he keeps it on the outside, surprisingly, into turn 11 and then turn 12. And that is a surprising outside move from the Mustang back up into 7th place. But Beccaratis being the only pitter so far, most likely for rain tires, it definitely looks different from our perspective, as now Crazy is now in, followed by Schwami, and Joe and Red also enter the pits, so they think it's most time for dry tires. The leader has decided to stay out, as well as the top 3, so they think it's actually fine, at least from their perspective. So now that these guys are in pit lane, it'll definitely be a race to see who can get out of the pits first. Behind them, top 3 have decided to stick it out on... Ryan definitely getting a little bit of a reality check as he almost gets to the wall off of 7-8. Javier is now in. So definitely no worries from him. Slim Sign picking up a little bit of spray as now he's trying to catch up to Ryan. So these two may be sticking it out there for a little too long, as well as Husa actually. So these guys need to be very careful. They're still on dry tires. Crazy is the first out of the pits, followed by Schwami, Red, and Joe Black, who has taken a really long time in the pits actually. So he will lose quite a lot of time. But now Ryan under very heavy pressure. He is just skating down there in the rain as we speak. Whoever, just gets it a little bit too loose. I was going to say Slim Sign hasn't caught up too much, but hell, now he's there. Ryan immediately dives in the pits along with Slim Sign and Husa most likely as well this lap. Javier's still in the pits, although no, he's exiting right now. I'll start probably the last in the pit, and Husa stays out. Husa is staying out one more lap. Very intriguing. He thinks it's okay. To be fair, we can't see what the drivers are seeing, so maybe he thinks that he can ride the storm a little bit. I'm not sure how the weather will turn out, but it's very slow into turn one, taking it at first gear, so maybe not really the best of options that he decided to go for. However, he does have quite the lead. He did have quite the lead over 5th place, so this probably won't mean he's losing too much time. Slim Sign first out of the pits. Ryan still mired heavily in the pits, which will mean Slim Sign will take the position from Ryan in the pit stop cycle, and Ryan probably some damage repair or something like that, considering he spent a lot of time in the pits. He lost more than 10 seconds to Slim Sign. But now we go on the midfield battle, and that is Crazy doing quite the sliding of himself. Now Schwame, Red, Beckeratis, and Joe mired very far back. So there were winners and losers from the pit stop cycle. The big winners include Slim Sign, who has now gotten up into 2nd place. Big losers include Joe Black, who has fallen all the way back down to 9th place. But Husa, the only car still on dry tires. I'll give him credit, he's kept it on the road, but at this pace he is losing quite a lot of time, roughly around a second a sector. So now he's kind of just skating through this sector actually. So he'll most definitely lose 2nd and 3rd place, but he was kind of just out there seeing what would happen. I don't think he will fall below 5th, considering Crazy is going through turn 6 now. However, the more time he spends out there, the less time we're going to figure that he will lose these spots. So Husa in the pits now. Slim Sign and Ryan will overtake him, but will Crazy overtake him? That is the question. Has Husa stayed out too long on those dry tires? Husa just now getting into his pits actually. So this might be some miscalculation from their team, as Slim Sign is in the pits as well. So maybe it wasn't a coincidence that he had such a fast pit stop. Maybe he didn't take proper rain tires. It's Crazy coming to the final chicane now. Where is Husa? He's just now leaving his pit box. So this is very important. Crazy needs to step on the gas here, because he could potentially jump himself into the podium positions after losing it. But Husa now out in the pits, and that is Husa promoted into 3rd place as Slim Sign has made an error. And now Crazy will take over 4th place. So once again, Slim Sign just not able to close the deal. And that has promoted Husa up into 3rd place, 2nd of the KTMs. Ryan will retake 2nd place after I thought he lost it. But Slim Sign's still in the pits actually, so a very lengthy pit stop. He's found himself all the way back to 8th place now. And as the field starts to spread out for this rain stint. The order looks like this: Javier, who's more or less kind of kept the same pace throughout the whole race. Ryan, who's held on to second after his pit stop. Uso, who has propelled himself from 12th to 3rd. I still don't know how he's managed to do that. Crazy getting back into the race after he was sideways just around this section actually. Schwami looking to also get back into it after slamming the wall, but now he's under heavy pressure by Red. And Beckeratis, who does not really have the race he's needed, him and Red. Well, Red started pretty deep in the field and was involved in some major incidents, but I say that it's now Red looking to get to the inside of Schwami and get some more spots here. Joe, who was also doing really well, but unfortunately both a bad pit stop and just some unfortunate spins cost him those positions. All-Star surprisingly doing decently well actually. He's ahead of Alex, who has had an abysmal race, and GTS, who has also had an abysmal race after a decent start. Now Schwami under heavy pressure by Red behind him. Red all the way on the gravel. If he tried to force it anymore, he would have likely ended up in the wall, so he had to get out of that. You can just see the spray that's being picked up by the Porsche in front of him. But yes, it seems with around 11 laps to go, these guys will finally start to settle in. Everyone seems more or less equal in this rain pace. So I suspect a race might end like this unless Crazy can mount a charge towards Husa, which is definitely very possible. Crazy was up there fighting for second at one point, so he can definitely get back up there if he can find the grip in these damp conditions. Meanwhile, Schwami able to get away a little bit from Red, so he's most likely found the grip that he's needed to after a couple of laps on those wet tires. Now these GT4 cars, they don't run intermediate tires, they run purely wet tires, so they're supposed to handle any kind of wet condition actually. From the looks of it, it looks maybe some minor damp areas, light rainish. I don't suspect this will transfer to any sort of heavy rain, but the point I'm trying to make here is that these wet tires are built for all these kind of conditions, so these guys won't really be getting any better grip than they are getting right now, as Schwami gets it a little bit wrong into final sector. Maybe Schwami looking to set him up here. Or Red setting up Schwami, excuse me. I imagine this isn't good looking from Red's perspective, as he's probably in the in-car view with his windshield wipers up. But will Red attempt to make the move down into turn 1, Porsche v Porsche? Red being lots of late breakers, and Schwami lets him go through with relatively little issue there. So Red making his way back up into 5th place after a not so good opening stint. And Schwami falling into 6th place right about now. Unless Schwami can mount another charge back on him. Lap times stationary around the 2:02 lap or 2-minute mark actually. So didn't expect the lap times to take so long around here, but then again, these are GT4 cars. An F1 car can usually do around 1:20 around this track, so you can just kind of see the pace difference, especially in rainy conditions. the overall pace of the race has dropped down, as I suspect everyone is conserving what they've got. However, Crazy will be looking to try to push everything he's got, as there's still a potential podium spot out there. But as pace starts to go up, I'll just go on board and I'll just let you enjoy some engine sounds. That's Alad's letting these two go, actually. We'll have car of GTS now getting in the fray. We'll like to get out of the way there. Won't hold up too much, although Red now losing a little bit more pace to Swami is... Actually, that's Crazy right there. So these two have caught Crazy after it looked like he was getting away from them after a little while. So... most likely, Crazy losing a little bit of pace to Swami and Red. However, both of them still seem to try to making up time on Husa as it stands. But now the battle has come for the 4th position, as now Red is all over the back of Crazy, actually. So Red definitely the pace setter in these wet conditions. Can he try to overtake the Aston Martin, maybe down the straight, actually? Aston Martin, Porsche, and Porsche 4th through 6th getting down the front straight here. Red getting quite a good run off the last turn. Both of them going relatively the same speed. However, Porsche does have the slipstream heading into turn 1. Will Red, he's been known to make some dive bombs before, but is he willing to risk it in these tricky conditions? No, he won't. So he will stick in 5th place behind Crazy as it stands now. But Bekaratis also on the back of his train here. So if Red slips up, Swami will be available to make a move. So let's stick on board this battle right here. These three seem to be the only one who have managed to catch each other in the rainy conditions. Although it seemed Crazy was kind of pulling away earlier. Crazy going really slow into 7 and 8. We thought about a move into 9, but thought better of it. Crazy taking a defensive line here. Try to prevent Red from getting any sort of overspeed down the back straight. The Karatis, will he look to make any sort of move? Probably not, as Red looks for a move around the outside, actually. I don't think he's going to find any grip there, but he tried it. Red hustling and hounding Crazy. I suspect the fight for 3rd might be out of the question. Now it's just a fight for who can hold on or maybe catch 2 more positions here, as this battle is for 4th place on track. Ooh, Red getting it. Ooh, not Red. Swami getting it very much in the gravel. He definitely didn't want to force the issue because he looked like he was going into the wall there if he kept pushing that car any more than he did. But now Red maybe looking to the outside once again on Crazy. Crazy takes a defensive line, but still manages to pull away, so Crazy able to find just a little bit more grip there than he usually did. However, here comes Red now down to the inside, trying to set him up for turn 4 actually. He's made 1 or 2 moves here, but Crazy still insistent on defending the inside surprisingly. And he holds the inside so Red won't be able to make any sort of switchback on him. And once again, taking a defensive line into turn 6. Expect Red is trying to set him up, however Crazy seems to be blocking him at every pass. It's actually now that's Alex who's caught to the back of these two, so hopefully he can just let these two fight. Alex being a lap down, he's not in the fight. He's not in this fight at all. However, he's gonna make himself involved in this fight if he has to, which now is hindering Red here. And he will back out of it. Schwami also getting around Alex. Alex actually looks to have the best pace out of all 3 of these guys. It's a shame that he's 11th, 1 lap down actually. He just kind of has to hold his tongue and let these two fighters. That's Crazy in the grass. I don't suppose that's where the grip is, but he's definitely tried it. Cuts back to the inside. He will not let Red pass no matter what. I suspect Crazy's seen his fair share of Porsches today, so he's just looking to hold him off as best as he can. As he technically has a Porsche trio, but Alex isn't in this fight, so I suspect he might not be wishing to be in a Porsche anytime soon. But now Schwami looking to the outside, Red looking to the inside. Crazy will take the middle as that's Red going really deep down to the inside, goes really wide, tries to come back, and now Schwami, will he look? No, it's side by side, Red and Crazy going into turn 3, and that's Schwami now down to the inside. Schwami in the grass, definitely try to look on Red, but either too much curb or didn't really contemplate just how much Red was going to slow up. So now Red looking around the outside of turn 5, although Crazy has the preferred line. And once again, Alex has to get out of the way for Schwami, even though he's faster than all 3 of these guys. Crazy once again taking the defensive line. Red tried to take as much curb as he wanted to. However, that didn't really allow him to gain any more speed than he was trying to do, actually. Only falling off the pace of these two, but as they continue to fight, Schwami will find a way to make it back in this pack. Red now looking around the outside again. Just Crazy gets it a little bit wrong on the outside. Now these two are side by side. Red a little bit on the grass, but Red has the preferred line going out of turn 10 and into 11 and 12. And that is Red up into into 5th, but now there's contact, and there's Crazy and Red around, or no, Crazy around. Crazy definitely tried to make a crazy move, pun intended, but did not work for him, and he found himself spinning around in the rain, actually. So now it is Schwami catching up to the back of Red. I suspect no damage from either of them, but Crazy just tried to make a move back to try to regain 4th. However, to take too much curb in these conditions, it makes things even harder. So Alex, I think, hit the wall off the final turn as well. So now Red is back into 4th place. This is actually the highest he's been all day, I think, despite being 2nd in the championship points. But with all that battling, I suspect Husa is in the clear now, despite he's not really had decent pace. But Red, Schwami, and Crazy have been fighting so much that they've pretty much allowed him to get away scot-free with this. Meanwhile, in the back, Slim Sign catching up to Baccarat just at a quick rate, actually. So Becaratis, after falling out from his teammate, has definitely not had the pace in the rainy conditions. Now very much susceptible to Slim Sign. Slim Sign will be definitely looking to set him up, maybe around turn 4. Looks to the inside. Becaratis will let him have the inside very late on the brakes. Gonna push him wide a little bit. And that is Slim Sign cleanly up into 7th place after his misfortunes. Becaratis now down to 8th. Javier has lapped up to 7th place, so he'll be coming down to the final 3 laps very soon. Red has managed to get a gap away from Schwami, so just kind of showing that Red does have the rain pace compared to Schwami and Crazy, just was mired in traffic and heavy battling. Just kind of looking around here. The only close battle on track right now seems to be these two. Slim Sign and Becaratis. Porsche will definitely have the speed on the KTM, but I don't think he'll be able to catch up, at least not in these conditions. So, as it stands for now, these look to be the finishing positions, albeit nothing weird happening. Javier looks set, Ryan looks set, and Husa looks set to take this home. Red and Schwami looking to finish respectively where probably the best they could do, although Crazy now under heavy pressure by GTS, although GTS is a lap down. However, seems to be another one of those guys that seemed really good in the rain, just he's not in the lead lap. More problems for Alex though, as he's had an incident off at turn 6. So yes, it looks like everyone will just bring it home safe and soundly for the most part. You don't suspect any fuel issues. The only one who looked low on fuel was Red, but I believe he'll be able to make it 3 more laps with 8 liters. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. But oh, right there in the background, that's Javier. So Javier lapping up to around 6th place, probably before the end of this. He's now on the 2nd to last lap. I mean, what else can you say besides just a pure dominant performance from him? Then again, you've been known to see these kinds of dominating levels from him compared to everyone else. The only one who could have potentially challenged him, Red, was mired in traffic all day today, so I suspect he'll be looking to see what he definitely could have done better as he moves on in the championship fight. Becaratis is also another one of those who could have made a challenge today, just both the Porsches not doing the consistent work that they've been known to do this season. Is now Crazy just seeing that both GTS and Javier are faster than him, so he lets both of them through. But it is all KTM besides Javier, as Ryan will look to finish really well here today. Him and Husa went for a first podium here in the GT4 series. And Red will just be looking to finish off this race. It's been very difficult for him. Him and Alids, actually, who were both hoping to look for something a little bit different today. Schwami, he's used to being up front, so he'll definitely be looking to improve on his performance throughout here. Although he's been in the wars a little bit, but at least he's brought the car home in one piece. And Crazy, who's had all manners of ups and downs. He's been up front, he's been at the back, he's found himself in the middle, so we definitely want to figure out where he stands on that. But now Javier will cross the line to start the last lap here at Barcelona, Catalunya. And, well, I've said all I really need to say now, don't I? Actually, Red making up quite a bountiful amount of time on Husa, but too little too late, actually. And yes, Javier has lapped up to 6th place, so seemingly 1st through 5th will stay on the lead lap this race, assuming Schwami wants to go around one more time. Red looking a little bit worse on fuel than probably would like, but you can finish that. So I don't suspect he'll be in any sort of danger. Brian just coming across the start-finish line now, actually, so that just kind of shows you the gap from 1st and 2nd this race. And who's only now going through the final chicane. But as it stands now, Javier has pretty much, I don't know, stolen this race. I'm pretty sure he's led every single lap, so coming across the start-finish line onto the final straight, it will be Javier who wins the Barcelona Catalunya GP here in Spain. As, ooh, that's Crazy in the wall off the final turn. Wonder if that was just a lapse in concentration. He will finish 6th. GTS will finish 12th behind his teammate. Not, you know what I mean by that. And behind him, Slim Sign will finish 7th, along with Beckeratis, who will finish 8th, and Joe Black in 9th. And have to look far back to find 2nd place, but here he is. He's run pretty much as solid of a race as he's needed to. And so, ooh, goes over the curb a little bit. Definitely doesn't want to hurt the suspension of that KTM. So yes, coming across to finish 2nd will be Ryan Ruby. A pretty interesting performance. Well, I say interesting considering he was one of the cars that managed to keep his nose clean, albeit not having a good start. And so yes, he'll finish 2nd place. And here is your 3rd place man, Husa, who will go to the first podium of the season for himself. And, well, might as well just give him the award for the most amount of passes, considering he's come back from 12th to finish 3rd here today. Flash the lights, and that is Husa across the line. Schwami finish in, no, Alice finish, and this is Red coming across the line to finish 4th right now. Schwami just behind him, and so Schwami will finish off the last of everyone to finish 5th. Excuse me, All-Star will finish off the last of everyone in 10th. There we go. So here it is. Javier wins his home Grand Prix here. pretty much a dominant performance, as I'm pretty sure he expected to. As you can see, Ryan in second place and Husa rounding off the podium positions. So a very interesting race here. I'd say it provided a decent amount of interesting results there. Definitely tested these guys' ability to stay on the track today more than anything else. And it was their first outing in these kinds of changing conditions. So it's been a ride for me, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. So we hope to see you back here next week as the GT4 series continues on in the championship fight. I have been Cypher Knight 77, and have a good day.